Hello and welcome to Tabla Talks. My name is Kuljit Bhamra. I'm a producer, composer and a musician. And we're looking at the world of learning to play the tabla, and in particular, something called Konnakol. And Konnakol is a way of verbalizing the tabla sounds so that you can learn it. I'd like to focus in this episode on what I think are some of the great flaws in Konnakol and some of its limitations. And although Konnakol is very useful to learn to play an Indian drum, like the tabla or the pakawaj or the dholak, it is limited because I think it excludes non-Indians. Let me give you a quick demonstration. If I was to learn tabla from a master or a tabla guru, I would learn to speak patterns and then learn to play them. For example, dha, ge, tu na, titakata da, dha ge tu na titakata da. Now that all sounds really great, and if you're non-Indian and watching this, you might be really impressed and wowed by that. Now, if I was to ask a non-Indian person to pronounce titakata tu na, I think it would be very difficult for someone to do that, and therefore I think many people would say, no, I'm not going to be able to learn. And I think many tabla gurus would say, if you can't say it properly, then you can't play it. Also, looking at it very simply, I think some of the sounds are not related actually to the sounds of the drum. So dha, I don't think they sound the same. I think this sounds more like bong. This sound, which is known as na or ta, I think sounds more like ping. But the Konnakol language has a beauty of its own, but I don't think it relates fully to the tabla. I know this might offend many people watching this, but I personally think that is true, that it doesn't relate, and also I think it's not very useful for people who are non-Indian. And now Konnakol is used as a performance technique. It's a bit like I'll say it, then I'll play it. Sounds great on stage. For me, for about 10 minutes maximum. After that, I'd begin to get bored. So as a technique for performance, it's quite valuable and can be used, but it is a bit gimmicky. As a technique for learning, it can be useful, but only if you can speak an Indian language and pronounce those very difficult words. And also, one last thing I just want to say is there are words for many of the sounds, but there aren't ways of verbalizing all the sounds. So if you ask somebody what this is, they would say that is na, or that is ta. This is tita. If I played na and ge together, I would have dha. Now, if you were to ask somebody, what is this sound? I'm going to play a g and a t. There is no answer for that. And what is if I play a g and a tu? There is no answer for that. If I was to play a na and a k, there is no answer for that. So the system falls short there, which I think is a problem. And therefore, I think it's important to find a universal way of notating this, which is what I've tried to do with my tabla books, read and play tabla, and you're not driven to pronounce the sounds first and then play them. You can actually read a sound whether it's closed or open or on the edge or in the middle and play without having to pronounce those very complex passages and sounds. So what do you think about that? Please let me know, and I'd be interested in hearing from you. Thank you very much.